The main topic of the shiur today, some see it maybe as one of the more complicated topics of Pesach. Hopefully we'll try to simplify it, and we might skip some of the details, but that's to make it more simple. If there's any question Lema'aseh, you can ask, but to get the basic ideas of the halacha.
A lot going on, and it's best as you can.
And the topic today, small topic I want to do beforehand, very small, but the main topic of today is a mixture of chametz on Pesach. We found it in shampoos, whiskeys, and other things, a mixture of chametz on Pesach. Beforehand, a very small topic, what happens if we find chametz on Pesach in our house? Okay, so obviously you find chametz on Pesach in the house, what do? You burn it, okay, you burn the chametz. If you find it on Yom Tov, on Shabbat, so you can't burn it, you cover it with something, and afterwards you burn it. What about putting it in the garbage?
Not your garbage. You're making it butter. You're removing it.
So in Yom Tov, to bring here the Shulchan Aruch, the Mishnah Berurah, maybe I'll read here a bit of the Mishnah Berurah, although I said we'll skip the details, but we'll go a bit in the Mishnah Berurah. On Yom Tov, you can't move it. It's muktzeh. Okay, so you can't move it. Let's read the Shulchan Aruch. Hamotze chametz bebeito. Someone who finds chametz in his house. If it's on Chol HaMoed, Yotzienu, takes it out of his house and will burn it right away. Yom Tov, if it's Yom Tov, Yichpi alav kli, he'll put something on it. Ad halayla ve'az yivarenu. And the Rama explains, there's two things you can't do. You can't take it out. It's muktzeh. So you can't take it out and throw it out in the garbage or whatever it is. And also, you can't burn it in its place, because you don't burn on Yom Tov if it's shelo letzorech, if there's no need at all. Okay, so that's on what if you find chametz on Pesach, you take it out, burn it. Okay, so that's for that. Usually people burn it on Pesach itself, unless it's something which doesn't burn so well, and then they just destroy it in any other way. Do we say a bracha of bi'ur chametz? If we find chametz on Pesach, do we say a bracha of bi'ur chametz? Exactly. Well, so Harry is like the Mishnah Berurah. Let's read it inside. Okay, let's now I lost it. Anyway, the Mishnah Berurah says that if it's chametz, which was chametz already before Pesach, and you did already bitul chametz, and you said the bracha on bi'ur chametz on burning the Pesach beforehand, so you do not say the bracha again, exactly like Harry said. But if it became chametz on Pesach, real chametz, not maybe chametz, it became real chametz on Pesach, then you say the bracha of bi'ur chametz on Pesach, because you didn't say before Pesach.
What do you mean became?
Exactly, how could it became? Let's say I have flour in Pesach. Okay, I have flour. Let's say the flour isn't chametz. Okay, the question today, flour is chametz, not chametz. Let's say the flour is not chametz. Okay, we are without going to the practical halacha of what flour is. But in the olden days, they used to keep flour in the house on Pesach. The olden days, they made sure that the flour will not have any question about chametz. And then, for some reason, water dripped on it. Becomes chametz. Another example, you make matzah on Pesach. Preferably, you don't make matzah on Pesach, but you made, for some reason, matzah on Pesach. Why don't you make matzah on Pesach? If there's a bit of chametz in it, it's not nullified. Right? If it's before Pesach already, you make the matzah, and there's a bit of chametz in the matzah, it's nullified. It's batel. But if you make matzah on Pesach itself, it's not nullified. But here's an example, two examples of how I had chametz on Pesach. Okay, so then you say a bracha. And the last thing we'll learn before we go to the main topic. What happens about if I find chametz after Pesach? What do I do with that? Chametz Shamar Pesach. So I don't eat it. I can't eat it. If it was mine, it's a so bad. I can't benefit from it if it was mine. right?
Chametz.
After Pesach, which belonged to me on Pesach.
Oh.
Okay, for example, a question I got a few years, and we'll get to it soon, hopefully. Someone had locked the room, or maybe they were out of the house for Pesach, and they had a cupboard or cabinet, sorry, Australians, they used to call it cupboard, right? I didn't understand why people don't understand me. It's a cupboard, what's so it's a cabinet. Anyway, okay. So I have a cabinet which I locked it and put it at a sign. I'm selling this for the non-Jewish person, and after I come home after Pesach and I see a nice bottle of whiskey out of the cabinet. I didn't sell it for Pesach. So whiskey is a question. We'll get to whiskey later. I find this nice Danish cookies sealed in a fresh sealing packet. I forgot to sell them. So obviously I can't eat them. I can't benefit from them. Do I say bi'ur chametz before destroying it? So here the answer is no. I think like Arnold wants to say. Because midoraita, bi'ur chametz is just before Pesach or during Pesach. After Pesach, it's only rabbinical, and the reason we burn it is just so we don't benefit from it. But whatever was done, we can't burn it anymore. So that's about finding chametz on Pesach. We obviously destroy it and say a bracha if it became chametz on Pesach. And if we find it after Pesach, we do not say a bracha. One more small halacha, which we won't go into, how could it be, maybe just to show us that there's a question of what's chametz and what's matzah. A person finds a kind of bread in his house on Pesach, and he's not sure if it's chametz or matzah. Can he eat it or can't he eat it? So I'm not going to answer it now. Okay, I'm not going to answer. The Mishnah brings, you can eat it, we assume it's matzah. Maybe the whole lifestyle has changed, but just look how our lifestyle has changed. What do you mean you don't know if it's chametz or matzah? Look at it and see if it's chametz or matzah, right? If it's So I'm not sure if they had in those days, if they had kosher for Pesach matzah and chametz matzah, that could happen. I think I even heard of a family last year 2 years ago, that by mistake bought chametz matzah. But that could happen.
It was egg matzah they say you can't use for the Seder.
Egg matzah you can't use for the Seder. I wouldn't say it's chametz, but many people, mainly Ashkenazim, do not eat it. Potato matzah. It's not chametz, it's just not matzah. But you can see
them have the soft matzah.
soft matzah, right? So you can see that because of soft matzah or other reasons, sometimes it is hard to differentiate between them. And that's just an interesting topic I wanted to bring. And we're getting now to our main topic. Okay, so our main topic is for today, and some see it as one of the complicated halachot of Pesach. I think there's 2 complicated halachot of Pesach. Both of them are related to mixtures. What happened when something happened? Obviously, before Pesach, we know clean up, kashering. Hopefully, we might even learn a bit about kashering. We'll maybe bring a few examples here of how to kasher things, how to destroy things. I also did a few experiments in that. I did once an experiment. I wanted to kasher Corel dishes. I got them a present. They weren't so nice. My wife didn't like them at all. She wanted to throw them away. They weren't kosher. It was a problem. Can you kasher it? Can't you kasher it? I said, you know what? Let's do an experiment. I put it inside the oven and did for it libun kal for Corel. It worked. None of them broke, but there was a bit of things which stuck to them, and they got so stuck to the plate that it was impossible to clean them. It was burned. Everything was burned on it. So hopefully we'll bring a few examples in a few weeks of how to kasher your dishes and how not to kasher your dishes. But things of how to prepare for Pesach, we more or less know what to do, right? But when a problem happens, what do we do? When we have a mixture, when a problem happens, what do we do? The siman that we are learning, there's 2 simanim we should talk about it. One, when there was a mixture of chametz before Pesach, and one when there's a mixture of chametz on Pesach itself. And now, since we are before Pesach, even before Purim, we'll learn about a mixture of chametz before Pesach. A mixture of chametz before Pesach. We might also mention a mixture of kitniot before Pesach. Once I bought breast meat, chicken breast, okay, to make a barbecue on Pesach. I bought it on Pesach. It was shechted before Pesach. shechted before Pesach. Go look at the packet. It says on it soy added to it or a few other things. It's done before Pesach. Can we eat it? Can't we eat it? What happens if it happened before Pesach? A mixture happened before Pesach to the chametz. Okay. Trying to think of examples of chametz itself. Whiskey. Okay, whiskey has a mixture of chametz. It has a wine in it. So what? How do we consider whiskey on Pesach? Can you drink whiskey on Pesach? Obviously we can't. All of us look for that something else. Okay, vodka. Some of them are kosher for Pesach. Some aren't. Some will look for brandy. Bourbon is a problem too. Or the ones who don't drink whiskey don't have a problem. So we don't drink whiskey during the year, and we also don't drink whiskey during Pesach, so it's fine. But if people who like whiskey, so they have a problem on Pesach. So what about mixtures? Okay, what about mixtures? So we'll divide the mixtures to 3 categories. The first category, it's a mixture that you eat it on Pesach and can be eaten on Pesach as is, okay, as is. The second category is you can't eat it. Okay, you can't eat it. Okay, something that you don't eat, for example, like shampoo or soap or cream. Okay, and the third category that we'll talk, third and fourth category is something which it's not a mixture, it's chametz itself, it's just destroyed and you really can't eat it. Let's go slowly. Okay, so I'm reading the Shulchan Aruch. It's in Taf Mem Bet 442. זה שולחן ערוך. תערובת חמץ עוברים עליו משום בל ייראה ובל יימצא. If I have a mixture of chametz, okay, I have to take it out of my house. I have to do bi'ur chametz for it. Otherwise, there's a problem of בל ייראה ובל יימצא. I'll give you an example. Brownies. How much flour does a brownie have in it? I never measured, but not much, right? Maybe less than a quarter. Brownie is mainly sugar and cocoa and oil and some flour inside it. Obviously, a brownie is considered chametz. Obviously, although there's not so much flour inside it, it's still considered chametz. Okay, so that says the Shulchan Aruch. There's a problem of bal yireh or bal yimatzeh. You have to take it out of your house before Pesach, and he brings here different examples, which kutacha bavli, different kinds of foods that they used to eat, and it says sheichar amadi. What's sheichar? Some kind of beer. You already see here, beer is something which is a mixture, but the food is there, and it comes to give it a flavor, and it's considered chametz. All these examples of things that you can eat, all of these are called chametz. Although it's a mixture, you have to take it out of your house before Pesach. And if someone didn't do it, it's a problem of bal yireh or bal yimatzeh, which means if he left it by mistake until after Pesach, he needs to burn it after Pesach. I'm skipping a bit, because we mentioned sheichar, mentioned beer. Sheichar sheosim michitim v'seorim, a drink that you do from wheat and barley. How do you call it? Beer. Exactly. Beer. Okay, beer, whiskey maybe. Chayavim levaro. Okay, you have to burn it before Pesach. Some people like the halacha very much. It's very impossible, very hard to burn beer. I tried once, one of the experiments, and I did it for kids. You can burn alcohol, right? I think from 70% it burns easily. What about 40%? So I did an experiment for kids, took a match, tried to burn it, but didn't succeed so much in burning it. Okay, it doesn't burn. So the way to do biur chametz for beer is, unfortunately, you have to drink it, we don't like beer so much. But Mesirut nefesh, to drink, to do mitzvah midoraita of bal yireh bal yimatzeh. According to the Rambam, that's a way you can do of eating. That's a way you can just make sure it doesn't exist before Pesach. And he gives also another example, which I'm not sure how common it is today, of making cheese with different kinds of wheat and barley. I'm not sure if it's common today, but he says that's chametz. That's chametz. So all the mixtures that you can eat, that's called chametz. Although it's a mixture, although the majority is something else. In beer, the majority is water. Here we have an interesting question about whiskey. Okay, about whiskey. And there's a difference between beer and whiskey. What's the difference between them? In the way they make it?
Alcohol content.
Alcohol content. Why does whiskey have much more alcohol than beer? How does beer become whiskey? More not exactly. How does it? You take the malt, you ferment it, the malt. No, how do you call it? Malt? You ferment it. How does it get to 40%? Oh, how could it be that everyone here? Well, not everyone, but how can there's quite a few here who are whiskey drinkers, and you don't know how? What's it? You distill it, right? What's the distillery? You evaporate the alcohol, right? You evaporate the alcohol, and then you cool it down, and alcohol evaporates, I think, in 70 degrees Celsius. I think, I don't remember. Water evaporates when it's a higher degree. And so you evaporate the alcohol, and then you get to quite a high portion of alcohol, and then you cool it down. There's a question, there's a debate between the poskim. What happens when we evaporate the alcohol? Is there something new that came into here? On one hand, you'll say, well, what's evaporating? It's taking water, making it into gas, which is the same thing, just a different form, and bringing it again into liquid. It's the same idea. On the other hand, if you look at it with the human eyes, without knowing now science, you're creating here something new. So that the question, panim chadashot, is it considered chametz or no? So that's a debate. So we have a debate. On Pesach, can you drink whiskey? Obviously not. Now we'll say you can drink on Pesach itself whiskey. Where we have a question here about ta'arovet, a mixture. Okay, there's a mixture here of water and the fermentation of the malt and something new coming up to here. What happened if I tried to sell my chametz on Pesach? I did everything I could to sell my chametz on Pesach, but I forgot to sell the whiskey. I forgot to sell chametz. I was busy. I was called to miluim. I said the nusach of a bitul. I tried to sell all the chametz. I had an honest. Okay, I couldn't sell my whiskey on Pesach, and I have a few bottles of 18 years old single malt. Okay, what do I do with them? Each one can cost quite a few hundred shekels. What do I do with them? I don't have, by the way, so much whiskey. I have only a simple blend at home. Okay, but if you want to drink whiskey, so don't come to me. The alcohol I have usually is used for cooking or for making other things or experiments with kids. But that's so what do we do? So here we have a unique case, and we take a few kulot together and combine them, and then we say this whiskey can be drunk, can be used. If you drink it, you'll be drunk. It can be used after Pesach. And why is the reason? It's a mixture. There's something new which was created by distilling the whiskey. So maybe it's chametz, maybe not. We aren't sure about it, right? Maybe yes. We can also see why it will not be chametz. And also a financial loss, okay, quite a big financial loss. And I was an honest, okay? I tried to sell my chametz. I just didn't manage to. I said the nusach from the midoraita. As soon as I say the nusach of kol chamira v'chamia, I say the text, all the chametz that I have, it's hefker. I'm fine with the doraita law. I'm fine. Chazal said, you know what? Besides saying that you're nullifying all of the chametz, make sure also to burn it, to take it out of your house, or at least sell it. From the doraita law, I was fine. I said the text. I nullified the chametz. From the rabbinical law, they said to sell it. I had an honest. I couldn't do it. And also, maybe it's not chametz. In that case, so you can use the whiskey after Pesach. And it's unique only for something like whiskey, not for beer. Beer isn't distilled, right? It's beer. With beer, we can't say, oh, we have something new here. With beer, it's the same thing. That you can taste the malt inside. Only with whiskey, which is distilled and all the flavors changed, only then we have that cooler of whiskey. What is it? Beer is considered chametz. It's a ta'arovet. It's ta'arovet of chametz gamur, yeah. No, whiskey might be something new coming into here. Right. Yeah, but even whiskey, we are makel just because we have a few reasons to be makel together. Each one for itself won't be a good reason. So that's for whiskey. I had a question which I tried to find an answer for it last year. I asked a few people who know how to make whiskey, but obviously they didn't know enough how you make whiskey. And I was wondering but I didn't get a true answer. No, we'll just begin in a question and then we'll go back to our topic. Is whiskey nowadays chametz? And obviously you say, well, obviously it's made out of I think barley, no? What is whiskey made out of? Barley? Malt? Okay, whatever it is. Wheat, okay, whatever it is whiskey nowadays chametz? And I'll tell you why maybe it is chametz and why maybe it is not chametz. How it ferments. Ferments is typically chametz, obviously. So that's chametz. It ferments. That is chametz, right? There was I had a question of, and I didn't know. I don't know how they make it. And if someone knows, I'll be happy to hear. The way they extract the sugars from the, I think it's called malt. They cook the malt and the sugars. So it could be, and I'm not sure about it. It could be that you have boiling water. You pour inside all of the wheat or barley or whatever it is, and it never fermented as barley. So there's never chametz here. As soon as I cook the wheat and barley, what do? I kill all of the well, how do you call it? Yeast, bacteria, yeast, okay? That what it is now can't be fermented. It can't be fermented. It can never be chametz. I take out now, maybe, I'm not sure. I might take out now the barley, and I throw out the barley. We don't use it. Now they add yeast to the liquid, which has sugars inside it and a bit of flavor, and they ferment that. But that's not real chametz. It's not wheat that fermented. It's an extract from a wheat that fermented. Okay, so that question, I'm not sure exactly how they do whiskey, how they make whiskey. So just if someone knows and can put up your insights, it'll be interesting to know. Now, obviously, no one don't drink your whiskey on Pesach. Okay, there's brandy, and someone here from the community who wanted to make brandy, he didn't find kosher for Pesachist, but you can find other things for Pesach. For good vodka, yeah. I'm the type of people that will never say good on a vodka. Like it's water. It's just water. But anyway, that's everyone their own taste, right? There was a guy who used to drink a lot of vodka, and his family always told him, "Don't drink vodka. Don't drink vodka. You're killing your liver. It's not healthy for you. Don't drink vodka." And he never listened to them. He was addicted to vodka, so he wanted to drink the vodka. Okay? One day he collapses and goes to a hospital. And the doctor said to them, "Look, if he continues to drink the vodka, he will die. You have to start giving him water." He wakes up after a few days and they give him water. He tastes the water, spits it out. And he said, "Are you crazy? 60% of that thing almost killed me. Now you're giving me 100% of that." Okay. So anyway, that was the first topic, something which is a mixture of chametz and can be eaten. Obviously, that's chametz that you need to burn before Pesach. What about a mixture of chametz and it is not edible? And he brings here different things of things that he used to make leather with and other things. It's not edible. Okay, it's not edible. So you can keep it on Pesach. Okay, you can keep it on Pesach. Shampoo, for example, some shampoos you buy them, you see there's nice pictures of wheat there, wheat germ or whatever, it might have chametz. Okay, so obviously you can keep it on Pesach. Here comes the question, can you use it on Pesach or can't you use it on Pesach? What do you think? You can't get enough from it. So since it's a ta'arovet, it's a mixture. Okay, it's a mixture. You can even get enough. Let's read it. It's not considered chametz. Okay, as soon as it's a mixture here of something which it's not edible, it's not considered chametz. So I have a mixture here which was made before Pesach. Before Pesach, I have wheat. Can this wheat be eaten before Pesach? Yes. It now becomes into a shampoo. Okay, is there a problem with the shampoo before Pesach? No. Before Pesach, is this considered chametz? It's a mixture which was done before Pesach of something which is permitted, right? Everything is before Pesach. We are talking only about a mixture which happened before Pesach. Okay, so we have the shampoo or hand cream which was made before Pesach, And now comes Pesach, and I ask, can I eat it or no? So what do you think? Oh, no, obviously not eat it. You can't eat it, right? Can I wash your hair? Can I keep it? So obviously I can keep it in the house. Can I wash the hair with it? So I can keep it in the house because says the Shulchan Aruch, it's not considered chametz, שהרי נפסד צורת חמץ. Okay, it's already the idea of chametz, it's not called chametz anymore. Chametz is bread or something edible, which on Pesach was still edible, or at least for animals. But here, no one can eat it before Pesach, and even if yes, so it's a mixture, so you can eat it, you can keep it on Pesach and use it on Pesach. Here we have a small debate in the poskim, and it brings us a bit to Yom Kippur. Okay, brings us a bit to Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur, we are forbidden from doing 5 things, right? Eating and drinking, and one of it is putting oil. You're using creams. Why is that? Chazal learned from a pasuk, "Vatavo kamayim bekirbo v'chashemen be'atzmotav." It came to him like water comes into him, and like the oil comes to the bones. The oil usually you put it on the outside, and it's absorbed inside the body, right? So some poskim said it's a cream. Okay, it's a cream. Can you eat a cream? No, but what's the way of eating a cream? Using it, absorbing it through the skin, right? So I can keep it on Pesach. I can't eat it on Pesach. Obviously now it is cream, but you can put the cream on your hand, and that's like eating. So some poskim said you should not use such creams on Pesach unless you know they don't have chametz on them. Most of the poskim hold. No, there's a difference. Okay, first, before Pesach, this was destroyed completely, and you can't eat it at all. Even a dog can't eat it. It's not called chametz at all. And second, eating and cream, maybe there might be similar in some aspects, but in the end, they are not similar and they're different. And that's why most of the poskim say you can use creams on Pesach. We have an exception: cream for the lip cream for the lips that has flavor in it. Okay, it has flavor, and there for sure it has flavor, and the manufacturers put flavor in it, and that flavor can be enjoyed by people. That's why we have lip cream with flavor in it, right? So that and let's say that a lip cream with lipstick that has flavor, that should be kosher for Pesach. If you use simple Vaseline or something like that, that's fine. If it's something with flavor, that needs to be kosher for Pesach.
Things that are not edible for us as pet food.
Okay, here. That's the next halacha.
Toothpaste.
Okay,
That's a
Play-Doh.
question every year.
that's a question every year. So every year, every year there's a question about kosher for Pesach toothpaste, right? Let's read in just a moment. Let's read the next halacha. I'll tell you while I read the halacha. I'll tell you what the OU does. Okay, and the OU, they tell you each Pesach that have a list. So they say to you, there's 5 big companies that we checked, and they can be used for Pesach. And you can find them. I don't remember what companies. I think called. Exactly. So let's go and read the next halacha. Okay, and that's why we have your problem question. Okay, so let's read. I'm reading in Taf Mem Bet, Saif Dalet. Davar she'nitarev bo chametz ve'no omer cha adam klal. Something which has a mixture of chametz inside, and people do not eat it at all, or that most people don't eat it. But maybe a few people eat it. And then Shulchan Aruch brings here something called taryaka. I'm not sure what it is. But af al pi shemutar lekemo, although you can keep it in your house on Pesach, why? There's a mixture. You can't eat it, so it's not considered chametz. It says, asur leochlo ad achar Pesach. You can't eat it until after Pesach. So you can keep it in your house. You don't need to sell it. You can eat it after Pesach. On Pesach itself, you can't eat it. Okay, and let's read the Mishnah Berurah. And it says even if it has only a bit of chametz inside it. Let's read the Mishnah Berurah. If I find it first. מכל מקום, כיוון דהוא אכלו אך שווה, says the Mishnah Berurah. If someone eats it, he makes it now important. Okay, he makes it now important. He says, there's a bit of chametz inside. For me, that chametz is important. So although most people can't eat it, I'm now eating it to show that the chametz is important. So for this person, the chametz isn't nullified. The Rama says something. He says, some people are cholek and say that if it came to the mixture before Pesach, you can eat it on Pesach. Okay, you can eat it on Pesach. So now let's think about toothpaste. You tell me what do you think about toothpaste based on this halacha, according to the Shulchan Aruch and according to the Rama. So toothpaste, if we eat the toothpaste, and that's it, and here we have the debate. Okay, if we eat the toothpaste, so according to Shulchan Aruch, although it's a mixture, although people don't eat it, but since you eat it, so for him it's important, right? And he can't eat the toothpaste on Pesach. Oh, that's a question. Okay, that's a good. What do you mean by eating it, right? What do you mean? Yeah. So first, for kids, they'll take the toothpaste and eat the toothpaste. That's for kids. So, yeah, kids they love it. That's why you can't give too much toothpaste for the kids. No, the kids like toothpaste. I don't know why they have special toothpaste. Okay. According to the Rama, there's no problem at all. Even if you eat it, it's not called food at all. There's no food. It's not called. It's not called food at all. Rav Yaakov Ariel says that a minhag maybe of Am Yisrael is to find a toothpaste with kosher for Pesach. But he says, his opinion, you don't need to have toothpaste which is kosher for Pesach. And the reason is, first, according to the Rama, even if you eat it, it's fine. It's not called food. And even according to Shulchan Aruch, you aren't eating it. You're trying to spit it out. You're just trying to brush your teeth. Okay, you aren't making the chametz important. Okay, there's no achshave here. You aren't making the chametz important. And therefore, says Rav Yaakov Ariel, if you have kosher for Pesach toothpaste, great, buy it, that's a minhag. But if you don't have, you can just use regular toothpaste on Pesach.